Good Saturday morning from the Tri-State WX Weather Center. Here's our latest update on the potential winter storm that will impact the Tri-State starting later tonight and into most of Sunday and part of Monday. This video update is brought to you by Southern Insurance Partners. Give John Miller a call for all your insurance needs. We'll get right into the maps here. So this is the latest alerts map. Winter storm warnings in effect along the Ohio River points north. Uh, with the exception of Hancock and Ohio County, they're also included in a winter storm warning. An ice storm warning is in effect for most of our western Kentucky counties, also Saline and Gallatin County in southern Illinois. A winter weather advisory is in effect for Muhlenberg County. Again, quite a range of precipitation across the tri-state over the next 24 to 36 hours. And we'll kind of break that down here with all our model data. This is our winter precipitation. So this is kind of what we talk about whenever we see changes in precipitation across the tri-state. So when you have those cold layers completely through the atmosphere, we'll always see snow. As you see a warm layer start nosing into the upper levels of the atmosphere, you'll see that snow melt. It will turn into water droplets and then it will refreeze as the temperatures are below freezing in the low to mid levels or lower levels of the atmosphere, and it reaches the surface as sleet. With freezing rain, we see that warm layer all the way through. The only cold layer we have here is at the surface, and that's where the temperatures are below freezing, so that rain will fall and uh, become ice on contact with those temperatures below freezing. And then obviously with rain, you have a warm layer all the way through the atmosphere and a warm layer at the surface. So that kind of breaks down what types of precipitation we see. So this is the Sunday morning map at about, let's see, it's about 5 a.m. So you can see some precipitation starting to move into western Kentucky and southeast Illinois. That precipitation will continue to overspread the area. By about 7 a.m., you can see it across most of western Kentucky and into southeast Illinois. Will start to spread into southwest Indiana and the rest of southeast Illinois as the morning wears on. You can see that heavier band of snow that develops there across western Kentucky and along the Ohio River in southwest Indiana. That could dump some pretty quick accumulations of sleet and snow before that precipitation transitions over to freezing rain. You can see that freezing rain transition across southwest Illinois and into parts of western Kentucky. Also, a little bit of sleet in between that. And we'll see that occur as those temperatures aloft start to warm up. By about noon, you can see that sleet lines pretty much along the Ohio River, snow to the north of that, most likely mixing with sleet, then widespread freezing rain across southeast Illinois and western Kentucky. Again, some of that freezing rain could be heavy. You can't rule out some thunder as well, as we see a little bit of instability with this storm system as it moves through. As we continue through the day, this is about 1 p.m., or excuse me, not 1 p.m., 4 p.m. on Sunday night. You can see freezing rain across most of the area. That sleet and freezing rain line is pretty much just south of US 50 there. So that's where we'll see that sleet snow mix over our far northern counties. A little bit of sleet and freezing rain in the middle, and then freezing rain through most of the tri state area. As we continue on into Monday, so this is at 7 p.m. Sunday, at 00Z Mondays when the new weather day starts. You can see widespread heavy freezing rain across the tri-state, getting that sleet lines all the way up to our northern counties. So you can see that snow sleet line there, freezing rain extending through most of southeast Illinois. As we continue on into the future, you can see that freezing rain continues. As we get into Monday, we'll see that cold air start to wrap around on the backside of that low pressure. That freezing rain line, we'll see how far north that makes it. It's going to be a close call as far as if it gets up to the Ohio River or not. Freezing rain and sleet will continue on through the early morning hours on Monday. Again, as we get near the pre-dawn hours on Monday, you'll see that freezing rain and sleet transition to mostly snow. Again, on the backside of this low, we can see some pretty intense bands of snow develop on the backside of that. So wouldn't be surprised to some decent accumulations behind that, maybe 2 to 4 inches or so. It all depends on how the deformation banding sets up. And that continues on through the about the noon hour is when we see the back edge of that snow push out on Monday. So we'll take a look at temperatures. These are surface temperatures, and you can see how that 32-degree line gets pretty close to the Ohio River. Here in Evansville and Owensboro, showing about 30 degrees. That would still keep us in the freezing precipitation. And then by 6:06 on Monday, so that's at midnight, you can see temperatures are in the 20s and slowly dropping back into the 20s and 30s across western Kentucky. Mid levels of the atmosphere, again, you can see that freezing line pretty much where the blue ends. You'll see that inch northward as we move on through the day on Sunday into Monday. As that low starts pushing off to the east, it will push that warmer air aloft into the tri-state and then transition that precipitation over to sleet, freezing rain. And as that low pushes off to the east, we'll see those temperatures drop back below freezing aloft as it pushes off to the east. Freezing rain accretion for pretty much the duration of the event. The heaviest ice accumulations will be along on either side of the Ohio River. I did kind of go a little bit further north on the quarter-inch line there into Gibson County, parts of Pike, Du Bois County. Up north, mainly about a tenth or an inch less of ice. Again, probably going to see more sleet and snow up in this area, but you will see some ice eventually, especially as those temperatures in the atmosphere warm up and switch that precipitation over. Across western Kentucky, 2/10 of an inch or less. That will mostly be in the morning into the early afternoon hours on Sunday. Then eventually we should see that transition over to rain, and most of that will come to an end across western Kentucky. Snowfall accumulation, again, the highest to the north where we can see 4 to 8 inches. Again, still might adjust that a little bit. I did make it a little bit bigger and kind of expand it northward. That's kind of just based off the longer duration of snow and sleet. Obviously, sleet would cut into those totals. Uh, with those ice pellets, it takes longer to accumulate and pile up. 3 to 6 inches here along and south of the Ohio River, pretty much from I-64, and then one county road just south of the Ohio River. And then to the south, 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet. Again, that would probably be the initial onset, and then maybe as we see that wraparound moisture on the backside, we'll see some additional snow accumulation. I'll probably do another map for the backside of the storm system. That way it kind of breaks up the snow and sleet. But right now, again, significant winter storm expected to impact the area. Again, if you have any errands you need to run, today's the day to do it. Most of this precipitation, again, still looks to start pretty much in the pre-dawn hours. Again, starting from the south and working its way north. So if you're across western Kentucky, you're going to see the precipitation. Western Kentucky and southeast Illinois, you'll see the precipitation first. Then eventually it move into southwest Indiana around daybreak. Again, we'll see that precipitation transition again as that warmer air makes it in aloft. We'll see that snow and sleet transition to more of freezing rain. Again, a quarter inch of ice is significant. Anything more than that's even worse, So that's why we're expecting power outages, damage to trees. So you need to be prepared for the potential for power outages and make sure you have blankets and stuff like that ready in case we have long duration power outages. Again, behind this, it gets very, very cold for the rest of the week and into next week. So temperatures will be in the teens to 20s with lows potentially around zero or maybe even below zero, depending on how much snow we wind up with across the tri-state here. So that's the latest update for now. We'll probably have another update later on this afternoon. Probably try to do a live update this evening as well. That way, if you have any questions, we can answer those. Again, thanks for tuning in, and a little under the weather today, so that's probably why I sound a little bit different, but we'll manage and get through this system, and we'll continue to provide updates as we move on through the day. Again, thank you for tuning into Tri-State WX. Be sure to share, like, and let your family members know. Also to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then you can also find us on YouTube. That's the latest. We'll have another update later today.